My work explores concepts of the unseen in the Great Lakes. And I find one thing that I talk about a lot in my work is the threshold. This space that's like mingling between the water and the sand. And that space is there's so much tension there. In the sand, I can find clues that have been turned over to the beaches, evidence of something greater that's going on. But I can't see that by just looking out at the water. The water doesn't give me any hints as to what's happening to the greater ecology of the Great Lakes. I've been on tons of beaches. I don't even know, hundreds? Like probably hundreds. I did a tour last summer in the middle of the pandemic. We did all of the coasts, the coast of Huron, the coast of Superior, all the way up to the Keweenaw Peninsula, and then all the way back down. I was surprised at how different each beach is. All of this is trash from the Great Lakes. This one is Lake Ontario, this one is Lake Superior. I very specifically remember the first barrette that I found. I love barrettes. I'm now obsessed with barrettes. Like anytime I find a plastic barrette, it's the highlight of my day. Ooh, yes, It's a beaut. I love Barbie stuff and Lego stuff. You end up getting way too excited about plastic that has been churned out from the water. I love this toothbrush. Isn't this like a beautiful, I'm like obsessed with this toothbrush. It's disgusting in all the right ways. I had never in my life, I grew up in Boulder, Colorado. I was never around Great Lakes in the way that a lot of people in the Midwest are. When I started making videos about the lakes, I realized how many people didn't know that the Great Lakes can have humongous waves, 20 to 30 feet high. People like didn't know that about the lakes, but it's like, no, it's because of their inconceivable size, this like sheer, like consuming magnitude. And so I just was like, you know what? Let's dive in and just do everything we possibly can to learn about the lakes and make work about the lakes and try to interconnect those things. Early on TikTok, my very beginnings on TikTok was this book. I was making this book and I shared my book experience, like cleaning the tubes and collecting on the beach and like prepping to make this. It reached 1 million people. So I saw that as an opportunity to also share everything I was learning about the Great Lakes. So one day I just like stuck my head, I was 31, right? Didn't know what I was doing. Just kind of like put my head at the bottom and like told my story of like what's going on with the lakes. And yeah, it got like 3 million views. And then I just kept doing that. I was like, why not just keep telling stories about the lakes? So this is my artist book. As you make your way through, you end up with a full picture of the beach. You know, this is a tube of fossils. They're called crinoid fossils, and I love finding these. That's an ideal crinoid fossil, is the whole stem. This is like what you get on the beach. It's like little thrills like this where you're like, oh my God, I'm so excited about a rock. This one is a single zebra mussel, and it says, only takes one. Anytime you walk along any beach, zebra and quagga mussels, their sharp white shells contrast the sand. They're kind of these empty skeletons of one of the greatest invasive species problems that we've had on the Great Lakes. Printmaking is, of course, the perfect mode for talking about invasive species because every print that you make, you can print it many times, hundreds of times, potentially thousands of times if you really had the arm energy. And that's exactly what the alewives did on the shore. That's exactly what they did in the Great Lakes, is they just multiplied. So the multiplicity of printmaking feeds so well into the story of invasive species. I think that sometimes people can be very intimidated by science, but art is for everybody. You know, science is artistic, the world is artistic, Mother Nature is artistic. Everything about the space around us there's so much art that is just art before I even touch it or change it or morph it or place it in a tube. It's already a beautiful object. It already has a story, and I am just taking that story and kind of engaging with it as a creative person and as someone who really believes in science and education, finding a way to kind of braid that all together.